You can't date like them. If you are a generational curse breaker, you cannot date like them. As much as you want love, companionship, and even marriage, one wrong decision in love can derail your entire destiny. Yes, one wrong decision in love can mess up and destroy everything that you've worked hard for. On the screen here, you'll see a lady. This is actually a fictitious character by the name of Wanita, and it comes from the movie Never Die Alone, starring Earl Simmons, whom we famously know as DMX. And his name was King David, and her name was Wanita. And this was, of course, played by the very lovely Reagan Gomez Preston. But I chose this particular character in her story. But it takes you on this journey of King David's underworld life in the streets and how he ended up reaping what he sowed. He had lived a very dark, very sinister, very demonic life, and he, along his own personal journey, destroyed so many people in his wake. And Wanita was one of them. I chose her story because it's a cautionary tale of young women who are going on this journey, trying to have a good time, not trying to be somewhere for a long time, but just a little time. And you think that you're going to just get in and get out when it comes to meeting certain people along your journey, whether it's dating, courting, or just having fun. And unfortunately, you end up meeting people that are so damaged, they are so prideful and so broken, and their egos are so fragile. Saying one wrong thing, making a decision to not get serious with them, or just walking away could cost you your entire life. I'm going to run down the backstory of Wanita and her interaction with King David, and you're going to see that he ended up being her ultimate demise. Some words will be substituted for the sake of community guidelines. So David moves on to Wanita, a college student he meets in an upscale bar. Their relationship goes well as David starts to make a lot of money. Wanita tries his snow dust without getting addicted. She refuses to move in with David, insisting that she is just trying to have a little fun with him, and that his stash of $250,000 isn't nearly enough to retire on. Hurt and angry, David secretly switches the snow dust with dog food, making her an addict and getting her very addicted. David leaves Wanita, but she soon returns, addicted and begging for help. He agrees to help her, providing a dog food fix in exchange for rough and demeaning sex. The humiliation and disgrace shattered her dreams and causes her severe emotional distress, thus making her addictions even stronger. After a while, she demands that he pays for her entrance to rehabilitation, or else she'll call the police. Enraged, David decides to do the same thing that he did to Etna, which was another character in the movie. He mixed her dog food with car battery acid, resulting in both dying and a fatal seizure. So as we can see, ladies and gentlemen, what happened here was two attractive people see each other at a bar, mutual attraction, go back, have a little fun, party a little bit. One party starts to catch feelings, and that was David. But David was damaged and broken, but he appeared to be this big macho street guy pushing weight. But underneath the surface, he struggled with severe rejection. And so when he expressed his feelings to Wanita and told her how he felt, the feeling was not mutual. So not only did it make him mad, but he also felt rejected and abandoned. And so that's when he did the switcheroo and he made her addicted. And as a result, she could not function. Obviously, there's an alteration in her brain. There's a chemical imbalance now, and she can't function. This young lady was a college student with a bright future ahead of her. And unfortunately, one wrong turn, going to the bar, going to have a little fun, and she probably had been doing that a lot, right? Going out, meeting a guy, having fun, They have a little rendezvous and then they go their separate ways. But unfortunately for Wanita, this was the end for her. A lot of times we're in a place in our lives where we have vices, or you may have some things that you're indulging in that you really shouldn't be indulging in. And it is that thing that ends up being the portal or the open door that leads to your demise. How many times have we heard stories about beautiful women? We're going to talk about women in particular. Beautiful women with a bright future ahead of them, has a whole lot of stuff going on. They end up entertaining somebody they had no business entertaining, just looking for a little fun, or they just want to give somebody a chance that may not be of the same caliber as them. And they are indulging in maybe a little alcohol, maybe a little smokes or something like that. And unfortunately, it's that thing that seems so harmless that is the open door that people actually can use to infiltrate you. And you hear that they had got laced or somebody put something in their drink, and the person is never the same again. Whether they lose their mind or they lose their beauty or whatever, but they're never the same again. Sometimes the thing that you think is so harmless, but you shouldn't be doing it, is the sin that leads to possible destruction in your life. And it also interferes with your ability to make sober and sound decisions. And you'll just be thinking, if I get into it, I can just get right back out. Sometimes it's not like that. When you get into connections with people and you are not exactly where you want to be in life, but you're at a crossroads, but you do have so much potential ahead of you, sometimes making these temporary decisions can lead to lifelong and permanent consequences. Where, let's say you settle down prematurely with somebody because you guys are having a great time. So 6 months to a year is just amazing. It just blows you away. But you don't know their mental state. You really don't know their emotional state. You don't know this person and their traumas that they never spoke about. You just was having a good time. The person wine and dining you. Also, too, we are in a time and space where a lot of women, they're dating for lifestyle. And so you might be thinking you're bossing up because you're getting with this person who looks like they got something going on, and they can help upgrade your life and all of this, and you have no idea who this person is for real. And the only time you get a chance to really get to know them is when you reject them in some way, or you do not give them exactly what they want and you tell them no. The first time you tell them no, all hell breaks loose. And it's not a direct disrespect to you for saying no. No, it's passive aggressive. And if you can look at this story and this cautionary tale with David and Wanita, he didn't directly switch the products. He did it. If you go watch the movie, which I do suggest you go check the movie out, he actually waits till she goes to the restroom and then he switched it out. And before she know it, he turned this woman into a shell of her former self. And so breaking her, and then it wasn't enough to break her. When she demanded that he fix what he had broken, he just decided to end it all and just take her life into his hands. A lot of times, us as women, women of purpose, women who have goals, aspirations, women who really want something out of life, whether you are young or whether you are a late bloomer, it doesn't matter. You want it all, right? So you want this professional life, you want this success, you want a certain lifestyle, but then you also want love, whatever that means. You want this concept of love as well. And sometimes, depending on the clock ticking and you looking at your watch and you're like, okay, I'm accomplishing things, okay, I'm going up in life, I'm elevating, I'm upgrading, but when it comes to your life, you're still single. And with so many mixed messages out there in life, with the pressures to be with someone, you may get desperate because now you're pushing 30, you're pushing 35, you're 40, you're 45, and you're like, man, I have everything, but I don't have this concept of love. and you prematurely make the wrong decision. Once you get in it and you realize, like, okay, we're not compatible, or this is not the person that I fell in love with, and you think you're just going to go on about your merry way, sometimes people want to destroy the thing that you have going on for yourself so that you don't get to experience life in its fullness without them. So that means that if you are physically beautiful, they want to destroy your beauty. If you are extremely intelligent, they want to destroy your mind. If you are very financially well off, they want to interfere with your money. Or if you just have all of that going on, they want to just bury you for once and for all. Never underestimate how far a man with an abandonment wound, rejection issues, pride and ego, and jealousy and envy will go to destroy you. So if you know that you have been called to do things that have never been done before and become someone that has never been seen before, especially for your family or what have you, do not be lazy and do not be desperate to just get attached to anybody. Everybody is not worthy of you. They're not. Just because you want somebody don't mean that it's the time. And just because somebody is, giving you compliments and flattering you, or even willing to give you large sums of monies and gifts, it doesn't mean that that is your life partner or your purpose partner. Take your time in life. Properly vet people. See if they are in alignment with your purpose, your values, your ethics, your principles, your God, your faith. And then over time, their actions and the consistency, you can hopefully make a sound decision on what you want to do in terms of love. All right. So I hope that this has been helpful. I definitely suggest watching this movie. It's called Never Die Alone. It came out in 2004. It is a thriller, and it is starring DMX. Like, comment, and subscribe. One-on-one sessions are available. Just look in the description box and you'll see the little link. Click on the link and you can schedule your one-on-one private session with me today.